Welcome back to another episode of Plant-Based Dads. I'm Joey Trotzel. I want to quick thank our Patreon and PayPal supporters and our financial supporters who just leave money in the comments. Without you, the show could not happen. If you've ever thought about how can you help, how can you be part of the team, that's how you can help. You become a financial supporter. There'll be a link in the description below this video on how you can become part of the team. And this video is not sponsored. There you go. I want to share something with you. I had a trainer for a year, and then I'm just working out on my own, and I've been hitting the gym 4 days a week, and it's been a lot of progress. I've built a lot of muscle on me, right? And I've been working on dieting, and not dieting, but cutting, and just being aware of my calories, and everything seems to be going really well. And then last Friday, the second to last Friday in February, today's February 28th, the Friday before this, I was working out with Tim, and I was doing shoulder presses on the machine, actually, not even on dumbbells. And I was doing 85, which is what I'd been doing, and I thought, well, let's bump it up to the next weight, which is 100 pounds. So then I was doing 100, and I had done 15 of the 85s, and I did 100, and I did 15 of those, and I thought, well, let's bump it up. I was working out with Tim, so then he would go and I would go. And I bumped it up to 115, and Tim was like, no, that's just too much weight. It's too much of a change in one session. Stick with the 100. And I was like, no, I just did a bunch of these. So I went with the 115, and I did 10 reps there, and I was fine. I thought, this is great. I'm an animal, right? Or let's do this. And Tim's like, this is too much weight. And he did his weight, and then I went back to do mine. And I started doing my reps, and on the 5th rep, I felt all of a sudden this pain in my shoulder, and I had strained something. I went to the doc after that, but I have a pretty bad strain, and I'd hurt myself. So it's really hard. Just sitting down is really hard. I don't know if it's the compression or whatever, but I'm in a lot of pain. The doc gave me some muscle relaxers and some anti-inflammatory, but he can't give any prescription medication for pain because it all interacts with one of the drugs. I'm guessing it's the anti-inflammatory. I don't know. So I have to take Tylenol, whatever. I don't really take pills. I know I'm 60 years old, but I don't have any pills other than Complement Essential. That's it, right? So I don't really know how all of that works. So I'm injured, and so now my first thought is, what do I do? I'm going to lose everything all the progress I've made. It's going to be gone. I'm going to have to take, 6 weeks off from the gym, and I have to go to physical therapy. Why me? This is so horrible. How could this happen to me? Why didn't I listen? And I can tell you why this happened, because I normally train 4 days a week, and I always warm up for 30 minutes, including shoulder rotator cuff stuff, right? So I've got my shoulder stuff, and I kind of do this with the cables, right? And then I kind of come over here and do this with the cables, and I and I work out almost like just whatever the one plate is, and I warm up my rotator cuffs. And I didn't do that this time because I saw a video of some guy on YouTube saying 30 minutes of warm-up was a waste of time. Just jump right into the exercise, do a little bit of warm-up. So I cut my warm-up down to 10 minutes. That was a huge mistake. Of course, this guy's 25, loaded with testosterone, and I'm, not. So, I got to stop comparing myself to people on YouTube. It really is my undoing. So, I'm injured. I don't know when I'll be going back to the gym. For now, I'm taking off. I'm starting physical therapy this week, and we'll see what they say there. But it made me realize, I had to start changing some things. Or, actually, I had to be more aware of some things. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about, and it's really hard to sit here and do this, because sitting down is really hard for me, but I can't really film standing up. So, I'm going to go over 7 things you can do to stay on track during an injury. These are just some things I've changed and I've come up with, and they seem to be working for me. So let's get started. All right, so I've got a list of these right here that I just printed up, kind of a little, me, I'm an organizer and a planner, so I have to stay on track. All right, so here's the first thing I'm doing. at the gym, I burn 600 to 800 calories when I work out. So if I'm working out legs, I could burn 810 calories, right? I'm there for almost 2 hours. I'm working out upper body, I could burn 700 to 800 calories. Again, I'm there for an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. That's a lot of calories that I'm not burning anymore, right? So, my BMR is 1300. Then I've got, I'm getting, some calorie burn from the thermal effects of food, from the non-exercise activity, from from these different places. But I'm now losing 800 calories every 4 days that I was burning, 600 to 800 calories. So I have to compensate for that. I got to say to myself, all right, I'm not working out for possibly the next 6 weeks. What am I going to do? Am I just going to not burn those calories? Like, what do I do? Do I sit here and think, well, it's all over, I'll just throw it all away and I'll start back in 6 weeks and we'll do it all again? Like, do I really want to start over again? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep my calorie burn up. I'm going to keep burning as many of those calories as I can. I'm not going to be able to burn 800 more calories a day now without the gym. So, but I can do a few things to add some more calories. For instance, I can do some core training where, I'm exercising my abs. Just, I'm not going to hit them hard, but, enough to kind of get some movement, right? I could do some twisting. I could totally do leg exercises. So, at home, I can do a little bit of core training. I could easily burn 300 calories in an hour with core training. And I just do that, watching in my home gym, just watching, YouTube videos while I'm doing that. So I'm going to try and burn at least 300 calories on the gym days, just by increasing some core training or doing some basic core training. I can't really stretch yet because I'm not in a place to do that. But I can definitely do some other body core exercises. It's just going to matter until I go to physical therapy this week. I just don't know what those will be. So that's going to be my plan going forward. I'm going to kind of keep doing. I'm going to try and keep burning calories on my gym days the way I was doing before. Oh God. So keep the calorie burn up. That's my tip number one. Try and keep burning calories, just like you did before. Tip number two, I'm going to continue to eat protein because I've built some muscle here. Check out my arms, right? Like, they've gotten bigger. They fill out the shirt. I've built some muscle. I don't want to lose that. So, if I am burning calories, my body's going to need fuel from somewhere. And as you know, I've said it before, it'll take it from muscle or it'll take it from fat. And with enough protein, your muscle's protected. So I'm going to keep eating my protein goal, which is 120 to 140 a day. I'm going to eat that just like I was when I was working out. All right. First of all, it'll protect my muscles. Second, the more protein I have, the harder my body's working because of the thermogenic effect of food. It costs the body a lot more to burn protein than it does to burn carbohydrates or fat. So that alone is going to help me burn more calories just by eating more protein. Then, if I can preserve as much muscle as I had before, then, when I get back into it, when I'm picking up my routine again, I'm not really starting over. I'm just kind of picking up where I left off, which for me, that's a big deal. I don't want to go back. If there's one thing I hate, it's having to burn the same 10 calories I burned before, right? Or having to build the same muscle I already built once before. Like, I hate doing things twice, right? That to me is kind of a whole mental thing. So I want to preserve as much of that as possible, and protein is the answer. Tip number three. Get your nutrition dialed in. If it was like sketchy before, now's the time to fix it. Now more than ever, you're not burning as many calories as you did before. At least I'm not burning all the calories I did before. I don't have extra calories to burn. We already know, like, my BMR is so low. It's like 1,300 calories a day that, I could eat that and fruit alone every day. And then what do? Everything after that, if I'm not getting the exercise that I was before, is going to wind up being, stored fat. So I'm going to make sure I know how many calories I burn from walking, how many calories I burn from core exercises, how many calories I burn from my BMR, and more importantly, the exact number of calories I took in. So I want to make sure that I am still at a 500 calorie deficit to try and burn fat. Otherwise, this is going to get ugly. So nutrition, and when I say nutrition, I mean calories, have to be dialed in. You just don't have, or I just don't have the extra wiggle room I had before because I was burning so many calories at the gym. How will I do that? Well, ideally from food like I was doing before. My diet's really not going to change. But if I can't get it from food, I'm using protein drinks. It's fine with me. They're a supplement there if I need them. If I don't need them, then that's fine. But I have no shame in using protein powder. I'm a fan of Chimp. They're one of our sponsors. There's a link below where you can save 10% on your next order. If you order over $45, you get free shipping. I go through a lot of protein powder. I normally have probably 2 shakes a day anyway, even when I'm eating right, because I want to make sure I get my protein. So, and protein is what's needed to build muscle. When your body signaled that it's got to repair or rebuild muscle, it needs protein. So I'm going to make sure my nutrition is dialed in. That's also going to keep up my muscle mass and keep my strength during this whole thing. So when I'm ready to go, bang, I just jump right back in, a little more warm up, and I'll work my way up to it. But I'm ready to go. While I'm getting my protein, I'm also going to be aware of the rest of my nutrition. I'm going to make sure I've got my my omegas, because I still need all of those. I still need my B12. I still need my my essentials, all the the vitamin K and all that stuff. Again, I'm going to use Complement Essentials and Complement Omega Complex. Both of those from one of the companies I work with, Complement. There's a link below where you can save 15% on your next order, and if you order over $95, you get free shipping. I love all the Complement products, and they are a big part of my life. So that's my tip number 3. Keep your nutrition dialed in. Make sure you're getting everything that you need to get to heal correctly, and make sure you know exactly how many calories are going in and going out. All right, my tip number 4. Try and maintain your same workout routine. I worked out at the gym 4 days a week. I'm going to try and maintain that routine. Obviously, I'm not doing the same. Obviously, I'm not doing the same routine that I was doing before. I'm going to have to change. But my workouts, what I can do, whether they're at home or just kind of stretching or whatever, I'm going to do those 4 days a week on my gym days, because that'll just keep me going on the same routine. I need a routine. When I'm off my routine, bad things happen, right? I reach for things I shouldn't be. I don't count calories. I'm not aware of things. I'm definitely a creature of habit, and I try and repeat the same thing every week. It just helps me to stay on track. I absolutely need a routine. This is not the time for the next 6 weeks to just have a free-for-all and not plan anything. That's not going to get me to where I want to be in 6 weeks, which is right where I left off. So my routine is everything, and I'm going to make sure I'm still doing the same thing. I'm just having to adjust it. So my exercise days, I'm not able to bench press and all that, but I am going to do what exercises that I can. And again, it's not going to be as many calories, but it is going to keep me on my plan and on track. So that's my tip number 4. Try and maintain your weekly routine. Tip number 5, use this time to start planning. Give yourself something to look forward to and what you're going to do when you get back. I already know how I injured myself. I'm not letting that happen again. I'm going to be warming up more. I'm going to be changing the weight to a lighter weight. I'm going to do less weight and more reps. I'm going to plan all that. So I'm already working on how to change my workout to be better for a 60-year-old dude than for someone who's 20-something or 30-something. I can use that time now to look forward to what I'm going to do when I get back. So I'm just kind of not jumping in blind. There's plenty of time to make all that work. So I'm going to start putting a routine together. I may even go to the gym to do my core training, which will just make me feel like I'm still, haven't lost anything, I'm still there. But now is the time to start working on, to start thinking about, reflecting about what went well when you were working out and what probably didn't go as well as it should have, even if you didn't get injured, right? And it is good every few months, like every 3 months, to start changing up your workout routine anyway. So this is a good time for me to start doing that, to start making a plan on how I'm going to handle the next 3 months once I go back. So that's my tip number 5. Start planning on what you're going to do when you get back. Tip number 6, be aware of the mental aspect of your injury. I was doing the same thing for over a year. I was going to work, coming home, getting changed, going to the gym 4 days a week, putting on my hoodie, putting my headphones, listening to podcasts, listening to music, doing my exercise, coming home, protein shake, blah, blah, blah. I know what I'm eating just the same exact thing. And that makes me happy, right? I like when I know what to expect. I don't like change. Change scares me. It's confusing for me, right? I can't do I'm not someone who can do like multiple tasks at once. I have to finish one task and then I can go to another. That's, just a default with who I am, right? I'm not multitaskable. So I plan ahead so I'm able to do that successfully, and that's how I get by life. So the mental aspect of all this would now be kind of floating around in limbo with no plan, and possibly, going, oh well, why bother? You've messed this up, and or this is, you're not going to get the results now for the next 6 weeks, and why bother? This is a waste of time. You don't deserve this. Just all that crazy stuff, right? I got to let that go. I've got a plan. I'm going to physical therapy. I'm going to let them work with me, and I'll do whatever they say to do. And I'll do it as much as I can. When I'm not at physical therapy, I'll do the exercises at home because I have the home gym and the mats and all that. And I'm going to work hard during physical therapy to get back to where I was. I'm not going to let the mental aspect of this take me down and cause me to fail. I've just worked too hard to get where I am to do that. And tip number 7, I'm going to love myself no matter what happens. I've been through this for years. If you've watched the channel, you've been by my side. I've tried so many different things, and up until now, up until about a year ago, I've had successes and failures, and now I'm kind of in a place where I'm more happy with where I'm going than I was before, just because I'm seeing muscle and I'm seeing results and I'm seeing recomposition. And it's very slow. I mean, I'm a little guy, and little guys have, much less muscle and on a much smaller BMR. So every single calorie counts for me, and, it's not always easy with the family. So, but I am moving forward, and I can absolutely tell that. So I'm going to love myself because I'm accomplishing that. Am I where I want to be? No. Am I able to take my shirt off and do this without my shirt on? Absolutely not. But am I okay with that? Well, not really. But I'm going to have to be. So, I want to get to the point one day where I'm like, Nimai and Brian and Derek and all those guys, you can rip off their shirt and show you all their progress, but that's, they've been doing that for so many years, and I'm just at this for a year. You're still considered a newbie in bodybuilding and working out in the first 3 years, so I've still got a way to go before I even get to intermediate. All right, that's my 7 tips on how to stay on track during an injury. Okay, Tylenol doesn't do anything. I'm sorry. It doesn't do anything. Acetaminophen, but I can't take any of the major painkillers like ibuprofen and naproxen or any of that with one of my medications. So I just have to deal with this. That's my injury. That's my video for today. How to stay on track during injury. 7 tips that you can take, or at least that I'm going to do, but 7 tips I'm sharing with you on how I plan to get through this. Hit that like button, show us some love, click on the subscribe button, click on that bell, you get notified every time we have a new video, usually every Tuesday, and leave a comment below. Have you had to deal with injuries? What's your plan? Have you been sidetracked? Have you felt like, you were getting somewhere and then you failed? Like, are you with me on this journey? Are we doing this together? I hope so. I'm definitely stronger with all of you. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.